back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. Sorry about the sound. I'm still messing around with the sound. I think what I need to do, I'm going to fix it right now. So I need to come in here and I need my main output audio to be the voice meter and this to be the focus rates. Okay. So that should fix that. All right. Anyways, and then this one should be muted. All right. So we'll try it like that. I might have to mess with the audio a little bit more. Anyways, welcome. It's Tuesday, the 26th. Coming into from last week, there was quite a bit of I don't know, like maybe we were thinking, hey, they might turn here. Maybe there's going to be a turn down. There was a little bit of risk sentiment. There was a few days that were negative, but overall we went higher. And now over the weekend and the holiday, we're up above 30,000 right now. Now, I really don't trust holiday prices. Come over here to the charts, and I'm just looking at my footprint, and you can see some of these slips up. We're just on nothing. Just on absolutely nothing. So, 1,000 contracts, not even 1,000 contracts. So, that doesn't mean like sell it or anything like that. That just means like I would not rely on any of those prices for any kind of analysis or ability to predict the future. Here you can see we're significantly above where we've been, and that was like pretty good resistance. And of course, that was looking like it was acting as good resistance, and then on the holiday they go through it when nobody's looking. When you come over into the treasuries, you can see treasuries falling back down a little bit. We have a 2-year auction today, so that is going to be dominant factor in today's action. I'm going to be looking for some icebergs, seeing if I can get a tick or two out of it. Because so a couple of other things going on today that we need to pay attention to. China has dumped a lot of money into the market, so that's going on. They've been conducting repo operations and so forth. Next is that the NYSE floor opens today, so the stock market action might be considerably different than what, especially if you're new, what you've been used to, because those floor brokers are out there talking to each other again, and that changes the way that stocks trade. It has. The market had to take a while to adjust to when the floor closed, so that's going to be an important thing going forward. And then we also, because it's the beginning of the summer, day after Memorial Day, you wouldn't be surprised to see some news drops today. So I got my Squawk open. I'm going to be listening to that, seeing if we get anything interesting. All right, so Leandro, Matthias, how are you doing? Good morning. Hope that the summer is kind to you guys. Let's open up the text to speech here. Man, yesterday's high was all the way at 29.89. I guess that's only 10 points. Still, you can see, even just here ahead of the open, look at all that. But the Treasury's trading a range here. This definitely looks like an auction day. There's kind of a little bit of noise all over the place in the Treasuries. Okay, so let's, I'm going to type something in here into chat, just so I have something to test with.
Speculator Seth Day Trading says test.
Okay. That's right. And then if I come over here, I do the test audio here. Yes, I can hear it and you guys can't. But I can turn it so that you guys can hear it. think I can. Oh, I would have to. Oh, if I do this one, then you can hear it. Aha. Okay.
Trader Josh says morning.
Good morning. Well, that's all we've traded so far. 2,000 contracts long, though, just in that 15 minutes I was getting ready. That's interesting. Well, what's our yield curve doing today? Let's see here. Little bit of a bear steepener going on. Yeah, but it's flattening out again. That might just be as they come up. So probably I think what we will should expect to see is maybe some offers down in here. Um hmm 28 half. See, we could do try 29, but I think we might be able to get 29 half 30. So don't know if that's the best spot for us. We could just buy the E-mini, man. I don't know. Do we have anything at 6:30 Chicago Fed National Activity Index? I guess there's that. Let's see here. Donald Trump tweets Sam Parnell is an American hero. Connor Lamb has proven to be an American fraud and a puppet for crazy Nancy Pelosi. He said he would not vote for her for Speaker and did. Will kill the Second Amendment. Voted to impeach on nothing. A total and complete Sean Parnell endorsement. Okay. I don't know who that is, but whatever. It must be somebody running for Congress. There is no way that mail-in ballots will be anything less than substantially fraudulent. Mail boxes will be robbed, ballots will be forged, and even illegally printed out and fraudulently signed. The governor of California is sending ballots to millions of people. Anyone living in the state, no matter who they are or how they got there, will get one. That will be followed up with professionals telling all of these people, many of whom have never even thought of voting before, how and for whom to vote. This will be a rigged election, no way. He knows. I know that for some people the argument is always, but there's no instances of voter fraud. But the thing that you have to keep in mind here is that with mail-in voting in California, they do something called ballot harvesting, which is legal in California. And the laws vary by state, but basically it allows them to go to your home and hold on. Okay. That number we were looking at earlier, it comes in line. It's not an important number though. Anyways, so what can happen is somebody can deliver your ballot for you. So what happens is they send the ballot to your house, and then somebody will come over and help you fill it out and make sure that you bring it in. This is called ballot harvesting. In some states, it's illegal, but not in California. So I think that just on that alone, Donald Trump has a reason to be concerned about it because the ballot harvesting tactic was extremely effective in California for Democrats. Waiting for this news to come through. Numbers late. Okay. Number still hasn't come through yet. Okay, uptick again. It's kind of absorbing there at 31 or at 10, let's say 10. Hmm. They reduced the overnight maintenance margins at Infinity Futures. That's interesting. Wonder why. Where that I think they just brought it back to normal levels. Really isn't a whole lot of activity, is there? Over the holidays, that is. I'm just reading back through my Twitter feed, and like nobody's been talking over the weekend. That means that you all got some R&R in, right? Okay. Well, I was looking for 28 half, or sorry, when no, I was looking for I was looking for 29. No, it never gave it to us. Should have just sold it. Nah, it's okay. I mean, I know which price is the one that matters. If we sold it here, they could just pop back up on us. We'll see if they go through or not. The E-mini is coming back right now. Mhm. Okay, so that number finally came through 3 minutes later. Chicago Fed National Activity Index. I'm seeing here on my jigsaw negative 16.74. Okay, so that might be a little bit of why the E-mini come back a little bit. Treasury is not really reacting though. Oh, we should check Discord too. I have Discord up. Starting to be like, think like, oh, maybe I need another screen because I just can't put everything up. There's not enough room for everything. That's weird. Discord is kind of all screwy this morning. People sent me some messages, but it's not showing them to me yet. Mm-mm-mm-mm. That E-mini right back up. They gonna bust a new high too? Look at them. Look at all of the retail jumping at the bit to hit new prices. Mm, the E-mini didn't do it, but you could see the micros trying to front run it and hitting into it. Okay, now they're hitting into 3011. I don't know. I don't really see anything. I I just can't hit. I just can't sell into that. Like I bet you they're gonna give me a level break setup here that'll fail. That seems to happen a lot lately. Because I wanted to sell it, but like that would have been perfect. 28, 26.5. But there's so much activity there at 28. I didn't want to mess with that. But it ended up being the spot. That said though, I'm seeing some long volume come in, so I think this is just where I get a little overly anxious, thinking, oh, it's going to come down when the balance area is still here at 28. There's a good chance that they bring it back up. Let's see here. Hedge funds Target France says short selling bans listed. Says RTRS. A cluster of big name hedge funds have started betting against French companies. Story on Reuters. Okay. Bit of volume trading through there. Not breaking the 26.5 level though. Okay. Well, the E-mini did trade up there again, but I don't know. It seems slow, but there's actually a decent amount of volume coming through in the ES. Five-year did briefly tick down, but into that 15. It's a little warm in my room this morning. We need the AC to turn on. What about oh, interesting. Gold moving a little bit. They've been moving up in gold, actually. It looks like that might be from dollar weakness, but for some reason, my synthetic dollar index isn't working. Let me try just refreshing that chart really quick, see if that calculates. Nah. One of the data series is 0. It's not giving me data. Okay, Treasury is all ticked down. Offer not really holding very well in the 5-year. So here's where I bet we see a level break set up here at 26.5. But given the context, that's not one that I'm going to play because we don't have enough momentum. In fact, maybe I should fade it. I don't know. I could take it back to 28. I don't know if that's actually going to happen though. The pressure is definitely down, and I don't want to trade against the momentum. Mm, it's pretty quiet this morning, guys. Bunch of data. Let's see if there's any interesting things here. Six Flags looking to reopen some parks from early June. Are we trading significant amounts up here? Well, we've traded about 2,000 from the 203011 handle. So I would say that we are. There appears to be some significant resistance here in the E-minis. They may yet push through, but there's definitely some trade happening here. I think. Oh yeah. So in a minute, ECB's lane is going to be speaking. So that's one we're going to have to watch. You can see an iceberg at 26. See, so if I had taken 28 half, let's say, I'd be taking it off those icebergs 26 half, 26. Probably seeing the iceberg at 26 half, I'd want to catch the one below that. And seeing the iceberging there at 26, maybe they even go to 25. I don't know if ECB's lane speaking is really a significant thing for the markets or not. I have it here on my economic releases in Jigsaw, but I don't necessarily see any positioning or people preparing for it or anything like that. It might be, because it's a summer market and everything, we may have difficulty getting any kind of shift or really good openings to take a trade before the market opens. See if the ECB will release his comments all at once or not. I would really like my dollar index to show up here. Wonder why it's not. Also, I didn't even really notice, but the 6J has been moving up. So is the 60. I mean, so we must be getting significant dollar weakness here. That must be part of what is pushing the market up. Poll. From the Hill, Biden leads Trump by 5 points in Minnesota. So now I'm hearing that the Fed did an overnight repo operation of 35 billion. So China did some repo operations. Now the US is doing it again. And they weren't doing it last week, to my recollection. They had kind of been not doing them or not needed for quite some time. See that the 30-year has kind of turned bid a little bit. Probably because of this 25 showing up here, though. So that might not mean a whole lot. If we get too far away from this big old order up at 31, though, they might have to snap back. They took a little step up there, and then a bunch of volume hit the bid at 26 in the 10-year, but it didn't break. So then there might be a rate lock right there at 26. Cat turd. Apparently, this video, this viral Central Park video, woman was placed on leave from work. Well, I see people celebrating that, but I can never celebrate people losing their jobs, even if they're shitbag. E-mini taking a little. That was actually one of the more significant sells that we've seen since the open. Well, aside from that little turn down just before the bottom of the hour, but it's 3 ticks. That's how strong the trend up is in the E-mini. I can tell you, when you get a trend like this going into the open, they're usually going to try and retrace it, right? That seems to be, but I don't really have any way of really knowing what it's actually going to do. I think from a technical standpoint, that might be a good trade, but from a fundamental standpoint, I don't really see a big reason for it to be moving anyways. I think that I need to just let them trade it out. And maybe if I see an area where they're kind of battling it out, maybe I'll get involved. Okay. So it's more than 10K at 26 in the 10-year. Oh, and it upticks at 26 half with 11. Hmm. I can see Mick Mulvaney is on CNBC saying that people are being trained to believe government is free and debts and deficits will come back to bite Americans. Humany getting up to 3014 now. Pretty unstoppable trend.
BioTrader Wayne says test.
Hello, Wayne. How are you?
Ian McCormick says question about time and sales. On
Sure.
Jigsaw TNS, when it prints out a solid color bar as opposed to black background with red-green font, what does that signify?
Oh,
Thanks, Seth.
yeah. So, well, we haven't seen any today, really, have we? But well, you don't. You can't even see it. So I have one over here. Here's my 10-year, and when you come into the settings, you can see right here. It says block trade. So you set a number in there, and it will highlight it if the number is greater than the block than that number. So if we got an order there that was greater than 3,000, then it would highlight it like that. And you can modify how that displays over here, I think, in alerts. See block trade alert, and then you can set the background color for it. So that's how that works. You can even get audio. Oh, you can set it to a custom thing now. That's cool. Maybe I should make my own sounds. Anyways, that's basically the way that it works. Oh, I forgot that there's a power meter for these. You can turn it on to a short-term power meter, which is kind of cool. I probably clicked the wrong one, huh? What? This one. There we go. Short-term, long-term. Oh, you can set. You get 3. That's cool. That's cool. I never
Ian
used that
McCormick
feature.
says thank you.
No problem. They gonna break the high before the open? It's only the top of the hour. I don't know. This trend is pretty sketch. It is not. Well, there is some selling at 13.50. I really think it's assuming we had gone long, you got to be dumping it here. But nobody is. I'm not seeing anything in the volume that tells me to dump it. It's just kind of where it is and the time, you know? Well, let's see. They could turn here. If I get an ace straight short, I might take that. In fact, have to be just right though because I don't really want to take something based purely on technicals. But I wouldn't. I think we could very easily see a move back to the 3007 area. Or let's say, how about 11? How about 11? But like the thing is, there's like 4,000 contracts long and nothing coming back the other way. I mean, it's really hard to fade this. I don't know if it's the best spot, but I just don't see how you can go up 4,000 contracts in the pre-market. That's just a little crazy to me. The treasuries are up a tick, by the way. So there's still, and there's some iceberging at 26 half. So there's definitely seems to be rate lock there. Really is a lot of volume. Just all coming in long. And no, by the way, too, that when we came back down, like when we came from 3010 back to 3007 or so, it did not take very much volume to get them to do that. They just kind of fell back through. Watch Fox Business Network at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Edward Lawrence will be on Team Cavuto with an exclusive interview with St. Louis Fed President Jim Bullard. Hear his feeling on opening up the economy without a vaccine and where growth will be in quarter 3 and quarter 4. And then Donald Trump tweeting the opening of a cold case against Psycho Joe Scarborough. Man. Okay. So the 30-year ticked down there, but the other two didn't. I see that. Okay, 5-year coming back down in line. The E-mini taking a more sustained dive sell there. Let's say it pull back. They might have pulled. In fact, I don't really see a whole lot of volume on it selling there, so it looks like they're intent on getting through that high at 30.15. Do have a couple of news events happening here in a second. I'll just move this over like this so you guys can see the economic releases in Jigsaw.
Arrival Trading says anyone who is looking to learn a little something new every day, check out my free blog. I give free watch lists every morning and daily recaps. Appreciate any traders. At Arrival Trading.
No spam, please. Nobody cares about watch lists here. All right, 30.50. So the micro's traded a new high.
Ian McCormick says lol. Get out of here.
This is like the first
Trader
time.
Wayne says, have you ever met a profitable futures trader? I only know of few in 12 years of trading. Don Miller, Kevin Davies. Bio Trader Wayne says FT71 and a few people that said they were on Big Mike's forum. Maybe when you worked at Saks you met some?
It changed. The wrong user. Let's see if I can fix it. I'm sorry, Bio Trader Wayne. I'll fix it. There we go. Okay, Case Shiller Home Index 3.9 versus an expected 3.3, so better than expected. I'm not getting the real wage growth number yet. And the ECB comments are coming through here now too. So I have definitely met some people that were profitable future periods through certain time periods. One of the things that you will notice, though, Wayne, by the way, we can see you now, right? Say something to me. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you're in hidden now. Say something, Trader Wayne. I feel so bad.
Bio Trader Wayne says he is.
There we go. Okay, he's okay. Man, look at him go. There's some stop runs right there. Well, they probably like that Case-Shiller home index price, but I would expect the home prices to move up a little bit because the interest rates have come down so much. So I don't know if that's what the market is reacting to so much as, stop runs into new highs. Stop runs into new highs. I want to see this wage growth number here from Russia. I don't know if we're going to get it here. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, profitable traders. Yeah, so from
CH
time to
Trading
time,
says, good morning, traders. What are you looking up? What kind of instrument?
we're looking at the 10-year
Baron Glass
treasuries and
says
the
Dow back
S&P
above
500.
25K.
Yeah. So anyways, I have people will show me statements in Discord. So there are people that have shown me statements. If they're in elite, that means they've shown me a statement that was profitable. But what you're going to find is that nobody is profitable all the time. I think that we have this really strange. Well, it's strange when you really realize the truth, but we have this false idea that you get to a point where you're profitable, and then forever after that you're always profitable, and that's just not the way that it works. So what you'll find is traders will have a period of profitability, when they were on the right side of the market or whatever the deal is. And the people that stick around for a really long time are people that, have um, good risk management and are able to withstand the bad times. So, like Futures Trader 71, I would bet money that he is not profitable every month. In fact, he might not even be trading a whole lot right now. I don't know. But he probably doesn't make money every day, every month. You're going to have bad months.
CH Trading says, I am looking at the MES.
Yeah, well, they're certainly going up there, man. As soon as they hit that 3015, they came back. They went through pretty hard. I don't know if there was really that much volume on it. Oh, well, there was 1,000 traded at each of those points above the new high. So I don't know. It's really bizarre to me. Just the amount of volume that we're seeing in the micros right now. Like, this is a lot of money. This is a lot of money coming into the market, pre-market. Mm, he lost 3 trades in a row. Mm, Rich, always skeptical of everybody's results. Yes.
Bot says good morning.
Morning, John. What do you think of this trend in the E-mini, man? Something else, right? Look at my chart down in the lower right corner of the screen. So I have a cumulative delta on there, and normally it's going up and down and all over the place, and it's kind of hard to make much of anything out of it. But here you can see that we have had almost 7,000 contracts long pre-market without any interruptions up. That is incredibly bizarre.
Bot says Booyah chart pattern.
I'm just listen. I have News Squawk going today, so I'm just listening to what he's saying there. So far, I haven't really gotten a whole lot from him. Just the same numbers that I've actually been getting the numbers here on my economic releases calendar from Jigsaw about the same time that I'm hearing it on News Squawk. There's kind of some other stories and some fixed income stuff in particular that I want to hear though, but I haven't heard any of that stuff yet. But it's summer, maybe the News Squawk thing, maybe we wait until the fall and try it then. But yeah, I think with the way that it is right now, probably we stay here until the open. But I would be really shocked if on the open this trend just continues unabated. You know what I mean? Like with that much movement up before the market opens, they're gonna sell it. But I just cannot explain how they can possibly be trading that much long volume. You know what I mean? That's just a lot. That is just a lot of contracts. Like, honestly, if we had been on the open and I had seen that there was a net 7, really 10 is kind of like really my threshold. But 7 is a lot. Is a lot. And I saw that would make me go, okay, they've pretty firmly established a trend for the day now off of the open.
Bot says.
Yeah, that might be part of it. I don't know, man.
RJ Wheel says I don't get it. Any of it. How can you be optimistic? CH Trading says question, what platform are you using? And is the scanner that you are using from that platform? Thanks.
Bot says ECB presser going on this morning.
Yeah, Lane is speaking right now. He hasn't said anything super significant, but he says that the Eurozone economy probably hit a bottom in April, is what he's saying. I'm using Jigsaw Day Trader and Ninja Trader.
Bot says
8.
they're pumping.
And this economic releases thing that right here, it comes from Jigsaw. I don't know what you said is scanner that you were using. Well, you might have meant to say scanner. I don't use the scanner.
BioTrader Wayne says I think the USGov is buying securities to help prop stuff up, but I have a lot of conspiracy theories.
Well, they can't really do that. Well, the Federal Reserve certainly can't, at least. What they can do is they can give banks repos. They can lend them money overnight and let banks do it for them. That's what happens. And we got an influx of cash. You have to wonder why we needed more repo operations if yeah, I don't know why we haven't been getting repo operations, and then this past night
RJ Wheel
we got
says,
them
and that
both in
is
China
happening.
and the US. We got them both in China and the US. Somebody from the Hong Kong military right now trying to down talk all of this talk about the national security law saying that it's not really going to change anything fundamental for people in Hong Kong. Hmm. It's a really interesting, right? That maybe we hit a bottom in April, but like where's the damage? You know? Like we have no clue where we're actually going to be. And I just, my larger term view is that it's pretty hard to see us above 3,000 and then not go and touch the highs, and we're nowhere close to new highs. No way. I don't know. Is they're definitely buying, but I'm really cautious about. I mean, until the market opens, I don't trust any of this, right? I'm not going to fade it, of course, but until the market opens, I don't buy this price at all. In fact, what is the high? The high was like 3,200, wasn't it? The high. Daily, yes. Oh, it's 3,400. I just remember the first time that we touched 3,000, and that was a big deal, and we had such a hard time holding that for so long. Like, this is really super key resistance. Like, look at this. You remember all this stuff right here? This was when it was like, okay, yeah, it's bad. We should come down. This is fine. Okay, yeah, I would expect that. And then I thought we were going to come back up and we're going to do that. And then they decided, oh no, we're going to lock everything down, and it's super super bad. So we come down here, but then we're back up into this area. Like this was a mistake. I don't know. From the perspective of like what's the news and what is the price action doing and what does that mean about the news, that kind of an analysis, it doesn't match up. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? They're just buying it, man. And who's gonna stand in front of that train? Well, it is coming off a little bit now, actually. About 1,000 contracts back now. My AC needs to turn on. Where's my phone? What's wrong with the Nest? You know what? That Nest thermostat, it's really cool and all, but I think that the Nest thermostat should be tuned to my comfort and not efficiency. That drives me crazy. That basically the oh, you know what? That would somebody turned the eco on again. I don't want to do that. Okay, well, but that still doesn't. Says it's 69 degrees in
CH
here.
Trading says, but look at the Nasdaq is closer to the all-time high.
Yeah, but that particular thing doesn't necessarily concern me because tech isn't going to be very affected by it because everybody can work from home, right? I kind of wonder if the how much of an impact the stock exchange being open has. It's really curious to me that we're seeing such a strong uptrend. Okay, well, it finally gave me a signal short. It's so close to the open, though, man. Well, I could risk one. Because my expectation is. Oh, no. cut that one off quick. So we did get a short signal. It's not following through yet. And I dumped it. Seems like the markets, the news squawks are really interested in Bullard speaking on Fox Business at 12:30 Eastern Time. Okay, so we're still I don't know. This is really interesting. I need to modify this chart a little bit. This should be a 2-pixel line, and I need to get rid of the label. There we go. Of course, it resets the delta. That's okay. We know what it was at. Now's as good of a time to reset it anyways. Nope. All right, well, 10 minutes to the open. The opening of a cold case against Psycho Joe Scarborough was not a Donald Trump original thought. This has been going on for years, long before I joined the chorus. In 2016, when Joe and his wacky future ex-wife Mika would endlessly interview me, I would always be thinking about whether or not Joe could have done such a horrible thing, maybe or maybe not. But I find Joe to be a total nutjob, and I knew him well, far better than most. So many unanswered and obvious questions, but I won't bring them up now. Law enforcement eventually will ? Donald Trump's tweeting. Mm-mm. Man, that moving average is like right at the high now. Ugh, this is so weird, man. It's gonna be super funny if they open up and they just smash this down. I don't know though. Like, there got to be something going on to justify that kind of buying. Yeah, there it is. Going again. New Zealand Prime Minister appears unfazed by earthquake during live TV. There was an earthquake in New Zealand? Chief negotiators David Frost and Michael Barnier are due to speak on the phone tomorrow to tee up next week's round of trade talks despite a recently touchy exchange of letters. Tetchy exchange of letters. Chances are a deal aren't as distant as they seem, even with even a fisheries compromise in sight. So good Brexit news this morning. Kind of affecting the dollar here. In fact, I can't see my synthetic dollars not working right now, but I'm going to bet that we're seeing a lot of dollar weakness right now just because of that, especially because of the British pound because of cable moving. Open interest for speculative shorts in ES is at a 3-year record high, yet prices keep moving up. Market positioned heavily short with no escape route. Expect some stops today. Watch for high volume opening drive as confirmation targeting 31.15, says Brannigan Barrett. Very interesting. It's so, you know what though? That my view has not changed, and here is my view. I don't know if we're going to go up or down, but my view is that any price that is traded before 9:30 Eastern time this morning is bullshit. Just ignore it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All of this move up, it's very interesting. I don't know how to interpret it, but using it for any kind of technical analysis to say, oh, we're going to hit this price or this price, I just don't think that you can rely on those. I just don't think you can rely on those. So we'll see where it goes. This opening drive is going to be really, really interesting. So I'm just going to make a few notes here. The treasuries are up too, by the way. Like they came down and they came into all of those bids, and I said, yeah, well, but they could come back up, right? When we started, the most of the volume was at 28. So we were still thinking if we could get short, it would have to be at 28.5. But the treasuries are up here. Overall, I don't see a whole lot of volume to make them do it. It doesn't look significant to me. So I don't know if that really means anything either. I bet you there's going to be a ton of volume on the open too. Well, we got 4 minutes. Can I sit on my hands for 4 minutes? They're turning down. Look, they finally gave it to me. That right there. It's not going to happen. Should have been paying better attention. See, the one before I was seeing something like this at 17. I tried hitting it, but it didn't break. Shirt's looking a little bit more attractive here now. It must be profit taking for the open, people getting out before the open. Treasuries tick up again. Mhm. There is 1,028 on bid that hold.
CH Trading says they may wait for a pullback.
Ten seconds. 5 seconds. Here we go. Open at 16. Opening drive so far. Long. No. Kind of fighting it. Okay, some sellers coming in. Overall, though, the volume was long. In fact, still curious that it was long, but that the shorts are pushing. Hmm. Hmm. They tried really hard to pull it back there, but I guess they weren't done yet. Okay, so the opening drive was not quite as crazy as I thought it might be. But we're going to take it off here. It's too slow.
RJ Wheel says fake out.
I don't know.
Kevin Wimmer says guess some profit taking after that huge up gap in the regular session.
It's got to be. I'm not seeing enough for me to be like, yeah, like let's just take it short and hold it. I probably could have gotten my 16 ticks there, but yeah, I just know on the open, like I want to be really cautious. So okay, treasuries are back up.
Kevin Wimmer says we are up more than 60 points since Friday.
Right.
RJ Wheel says bears aren't in here yet.
There's some volume that went through at 3012. Let's see here. So we do have some news at the top of the hour. We've got Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, new home sales, and then CB Consumer Confidence at the top of the hour. So there might be a little bit of waiting for the news. Overall, though, pretty solid trend down. About 2,000 contracts back. Remember that the move up was about 7,000 contracts. So we're a quarter of it through, and the sellers made quite a bit of headway on it as well. Well, I say if you think that the E-mini is going
Bot
to
says VIX range
pull it
target
out,
50% 2990.03, minus 100% 2964.07, plus 50% 3041.97, plus 100% 3067.93.
41, 1 and 90. Well, I think that 90 was not too far. Well, that's 30 points either way, isn't it? But to get to 40, that's reaching quite a bit for a new high, and to get to 90, that's just a reasonable pullback, right? Do we have volume there on the volume profile though from days past? 29, not really, kind of in the overnight. So I can't say that the VIX is pricing in anything specific. What about in the treasuries? Did you try adding it to the treasuries? Hmm. Not quite the usual bottoming action.
Bot says not yet no.
Okay, so they do hit into a few new prices. Okay, there's 3010. It's been 5 minutes. Well, I'm probably too late to be taking it, but so far I've been right about them selling it. It's just a question of how far now. Well, there's a pivot at 7. Mm. Oh, so there's that 13 there. Oh, I don't know. I think that they're going to come down to this, to my X there, but I did take mine off at around 11, I think, so I'm still in. Oh, okay. Treasuries are still ticking up. I'm not really, so far, no iceberging on the offers either. Something may have changed.
CH Trading says, what are you looking to get in?
Well, I've been thinking of I wanted the 3,725 that I had an X marked on. That's a price that I think is fairly likely to be hit. But when I look at the overall trade, the risk reward doesn't make
Bot
sense.
says T-bond has FTFC on the month, week and day to the downside.
Yeah. Well, the thing is coming into today is there's a 2-year auction today, right? So 2-year auction today, there was some repo operations. There's definitely something going around. Somebody needs some money and is doing something funky. It's really interesting that they've moved all the way up to 29.5, because when we started the session out, I was like, well, I'd like to sell 29.5. Now that we're coming up and the E-mini is doing what it's doing, I'm not so sure. So it's probably just not, I don't think that tactically this is the best spot for me. I tell you what, though, if they decide that they're just going to sell the E-mini hard and they're going to break below 3003 or below 3000 in the E-mini, I don't think it matters that we got full time frame continuity down in the treasuries. Well, there they go again. So there they did hit my price. So I have some more. So there's one down at 3,000 and there's one at 93. Really probably should have kept that original one on, because I am trying to swing it a little bit more. And if I had it on, I could be letting it ride for a bit, but there was also the idea of just taking a quick scalp with the momentum, and that fit the bill on that one. So I think I'm being a little wishy-washy here. Maybe just post-trade regrets.
Kevin Wimmer says, well, they can short the E-mini all they want. In 90% of the cases, the overnight will buy it right up again, lol.
Right, and it's always the overnight that's moving it, right? But it's just like I was saying, any price that they set overnight doesn't matter. I think the most important thing right now is going to be what the initial pivot low on a 1-minute chart ends up being, 1 and 5-minute charts. So they're trying to set one right now. They got about 30 seconds to battle it out, though.
Edwin Cruz says, I read somewhere that says if you buy the close and sell the open, your PNL is off the chart.
If you get it right. There is a lot of movement overnight, though, yes? Okay, so there it is, confirmed pivot low. I'm not getting the ace long yet, which means there's a good chance that they come back up to 3011 and then bounce back a little bit.
Kevin Wimmer says, nah, depends when you started. If you started this year, you better have a big account and can manage drawdown. I remember those crazy limit down days in a row.
Yeah, well, that stat that Edwin posted is probably something that was done before that all happened. Oh, those were some crazy days, weren't they? Okay, well, it was a pretty good sell, but nothing crazy. Let's look at some of our things here. Overall, things still seem pretty bullish. Bullish? Got about 15
Kevin Wimmer
minutes to the
says, yeah,
top
I
of the
remember the
hour.
chart, like from 2000 to 2018 or something. It's like the thing you always say in the beginning of the video, past performance and so on.
Yeah, yeah. There's no problem with with all technical analysis is that historical probabilities can change. Sometimes it's just a coincidence. This is one of the big issues that I think we're running into with technical analysis in these days is that we have robots are coming in and they're doing these stats, and a lot of these stats are just random, right? Like it's just trying random algorithms and finding what works. And so you might find something that works, but that doesn't give any reason that it will continue to work. Maybe they found an inefficiency in the market, but maybe what they found was just random, and there's really no way to know because you might not even understand why the robot takes it.
Kevin
You know
Wimmer
what I mean?
says here the link, started even 1993.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they're battling here in this 3011 area. It looks like they're trading a fair amount of volume there and that we might buy up from here. Overall, not quite seeing my setup. I could, my gut just says buy 12, but well, it's too late now.
Bot says here's the chart from that article.
Can look later. Doesn't really matter. Need to focus on this right here. Okay, 13. By the way.
Bot says.
Spot gamma. Yeah. Somebody else has been sharing that link with me lately.
Kevin Wimmer says it's nice to be able to post links lol. I
Right.
remember when I had to make spaces and other shenanigans to be able to post the link.
Donald Trump stock
Hans
market
Gunther
up
says we
big,
need
Dow
the alpha.
crosses 25,000, the S&P 500 over 3,000. States should open up ASAP. The transition to greatness has started ahead of schedule. There will be ups and downs, but next year will be one of the best ever. So the trader's going to turn around and sell it now because he did that. That seems to be what they tend to do. You tweet something about how great the market is, and it's very often that they'll try and sell it down.
Hans Gunther says what are the blue and red boxes?
The blue and red boxes on the chart in the lower right corner are 5-minute bars. We have a download in the downloads channel of the Discord where you can download it. It's called Multi-Time Frame Candles. You can actually see it's really hard, but there's a line around the edges of them to show you the high and the low.
Bot says next year is going to be the best ever because he's going to be out of office and single again, rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing.
I wouldn't bet on that one. I tell you that right now, the polling looks like Joe Biden, if it was held today, based on the polling that we have, Joe Biden would win. But I think that in this election in particular, polling has a much higher probability of being wrong. But the issue with it having a higher
Hans
probability
Gunther
of being
says, do you think
wrong.
the time is relevant for trading? Or why are you using time-based charts?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Why is this 4,000? Hold on a second. There's 4,000 there at 28.5. And there's iceberging at 28. I don't know if they're going to get down there. Let's just kind of watch and see what happens. So I like to use the time-based charts because I'm not paying attention so much to technical formations and everything, so much as I am looking for specific price points that appear to have some degree of interest. So when I look in in E-mini, for instance, that they traded back and forth here around this 3011 is significant to me. That says to me that that is an area of equal buying and selling interest at this moment. So I like to use it on a time-based chart because that allows me to see that. And it also allows me to go in and say, okay, what was the open of this 1 minute bar or this 5 minute bar, to kind of try and track people's positions based on time frame. Mini, let's trying to push up again. So like on the 5 minute chart, for instance, right? I want to know if we are above or below the open of the 5 minute, so that I can say to myself, okay, all of the guys
Kevin
that have been
Wimmer
in the
says this
past
is a range
5
chart,
minutes.
right? But why does it say 1 minute there?
Oh, well, there's 3 charts overlaid on top of each other. Right. You're seeing a range, a 1 minute, and a 5 minute all on top of each other. I'm not actually showing them the 1 minute bars, but the moving averages on here are based off of 1 minute bars. So that's how you notice that we came up, and where did the balance area end up being? Right at that moving average. So
Kevin Wimmer says, got it.
I don't know if they're going to move up or down, and trying to use that to predict the future is very, very difficult. But what I can do is I can sit down and I can say, here's the price that there's interest in. So then if we get to a spot where I can predict the future, like a certain piece of news comes through the wire or whatever, then I have an idea of where it's going to go. So we got about 9 minutes to the news. It's a lot of iceberging there. Now E-mini's coming back a little bit. Okay. So if we wanted to buy, if we had a fundamental reason to think that the E-mini should be buying here, we could do it at 8. Probably be a pretty good spot. Let's see here. Ransquawk tweeting why consumer sentiment could be key. Consensus looks for 88 in May versus 86.9 in April. Analysts will be watching if consumer sentiment can bounce back, as has been seen on the manufacturing side of the economy. Analysts say that if we can see signs that consumer sentiment is inflecting higher, it could be a signal that the worst is behind us and could signal that Americans are gaining confidence in returning to work and began consuming again, which will help the speed of the
Bot says Three
recovery.
Sisters Post RTH Open the 26th of May 2020_949A.
Ahead of next week's jobs report, it is worth watching the labor market's metrics within the data too. The differential between jobs plentiful and jobs hard to get, which often portends the direction of the jobless rate. Last month, it dropped to 13 from 29.5 despite rising stock markets. Positive for Americans' 401k retirement plans. Improving COVID metrics. The level of people filing for claims is still very high. Well, that will likely prove temporary as economists start reopening. The sustainability of better consumer confidence will be influenced by how many people are able to get rehired and get back to work quickly, BMO argues. Got a 10K at 28.5. Axios tweets, Amazon is looking to invest in localized podcast content like news and sports sources tell
Hans Gunther
Axios.
says, ever looked for example 5 minutes naked POCs? These are the points of most volume, so it can be there will more interest and also use them as support or resistance.
Hold on. I have the news squawk in my ear that you can't hear. So I think that would be one way to look at it, but I can usually tell. I mean, between the volume profile on my DOM and this chart and everything, I usually know where the spots are. I mean, to me, it's not even how much volume traded there. It's kind of how they trade that price. If we come to a spot where there's trade back and forth across that area, that tells me that's an interest area. Right now in the 10-year, I haven't really seen that anywhere other than like 28, 27.5. And it hasn't done it recently. But you'll see it. It'll be like, they won't put a whole lot on the bid, right? They only put like 100 contracts on the bid. It'll trade down. They'll put 100 contracts on the offer. It'll trade up. They'll put 100 contracts, right? It'll do that.
Kevin Wimmer says that Hans Gunther v POC is the one with the most volume. POC is about the duration it traded there, by the way.
Sure. But we could totally add that on a chart like this for sure, yeah. The problem with that one is the way that it shows it kind of makes it hard because I would love to have volume bars behind these 5-minute charts, but the way that the indicator works, it doesn't display correctly, unfortunately. So that probably has more to do with the indicator itself. Okay. So you see some volume trading at 3009. Little bounce at 10. Tick is still fairly even, by the way. I suspect that there's some accumulation going on here ahead of this consumer confidence news. Okay, 29 ticks up.
CH Trading says, so what would be your best setup to get long or short in a trade?
Well, right now I'm very much trying to trade it more based on news. So I think that the best setup for me would be like there's a very clear trend direction, and then a piece of news comes out that potentially changes which direction that main trend should be. And then after the news, it's not like immediate. Like there's an initial move and then it pulls back and it gives you a chance to get in again. That's kind of more of a better trade. I'm disappointed that I didn't get better than 28. But the E-mini is selling into this again. See, so right now I've kind of been hesitant to really try and let something ride in the E-mini because
Hans Gunther says, and how about the number of trades happen for one price, independent of the volume?
I mean, I don't look at the numbers. I I just watch the price action at the price. Here's the thing. This balanced price, the sooner you can identify it, the better. So you would preferably want to identify the price before a whole lot of volume has actually occurred there, right? So, like I said, the key thing is that the market seems unwilling to hold a strong bidder offer either direction.
Hans Gunther says there can be 3 trades with 1,000 contracts and 1,000 trades with 1 contract.
Mm-mm-mm. I mean, I look at the volume stuff too, but you can see that really well on the volume profile, so that's how I'm looking at it. Okay, so the E-mini falling back down there, 3004. There's still a little bit of support going all the way down to 02. This 30 and the treasury is not really pulling out of the way. There's a few have hit it though. Why is 05? That's not good. Yeah. Okay. So that trade did not work out. I'm just going to bail on it. Wonder. Well, I think that the reason we're ticking up is because of the risk in equities. So let's see what this consumer confidence number comes out. We're looking for 88. We're looking for 88, and just realize that there's a couple of things in the crosstabs that we'll be interested in too. Okay, yeah, I could have gotten out at 29.5. I just don't like it when it ticks up and then it's like
Kyle
less
Bertoli
price.
says looks like shorts are trapped again just like they did on the 20th.
In the treasuries? I don't know.
Kyle
We're definitely
Bertoli
getting
says I'm
pulling for the
waiting for
news.
pullbacks at 28.
Okay, here comes the news. 5 seconds. News hasn't been coming out on time lately. Say 86, less than expected at 86. Oh, the prior was revised lower to 85. I missed it. I'm just hearing that the jobs hard to get number was less than last month. It was a miss, but it wasn't huge. Taking it off because I'm not seeing the short volume come in yet. Mm. Why are my lips always chapped in the morning? I need to drink more water, I guess. Okay, so you see right there at 29? That's what we're looking for. You can see gold getting killed here. No. Okay, so where would be the spot, right? Actually, probably if we want to really stretch it, it'd be more like that, right? Okay. Kind of hanging out here. Another test up here. Nope. Not that time either. It's definitely the bulls that are testing here. You can see that the overall cumulative delta is up. Okay, so notice that the interest area in the 10 years is moving up. Mm. Okay, so this is what I've been waiting for. I'm not going to tell you what they just told me over the squawk, but I'm going to see this affects the 10-year over here. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so a decent number of contracts trading around here in the 05 area now. Let's come in here, check. Oh yeah, there's some ugly news right there. But it's a lot. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Hmm. It's too much trading there for a break. Oh, that's super weird. Yeah, already 3,000 traded in that area. Well, I think that I need to puke here. I should have managed that a little better. So I could have gotten out at like 04. The treasury's still pushing it up. And did we see? Well, just briefly. Tick did briefly come down. Yield curve is being difficult. Okay. Treasury's still pushing higher.
Gorilla Digits says they're spelling him, as in yum yum.
Hmm. Nope. Nice try. Damn it.
Hans Gunther says only when you want to answer. What is your background?
I'm a computer programmer. computer programmer with experience in the financial industry. I don't know. Bonds and equities are kind of giving me mixed signals right now. And just looking at this one, this reminds me so much of summer trading. It's like no matter what I do, it's summer, man.
Kevin
It's
Wimmer
summer.
says, by the way, did Jeff Gundlach say anything about his short in the S&P?
I don't think he did.
Bot says, by the way, before I forget, just wanted to thank you again for fixing up the background coloring on my
Of
adaptive
course.
CCI. What a huge difference.
Of
Much
course.
appreciated.
So 30.5 is now looking balanced. But it keeps moving up. No, in the 10-year.
Hans Gunther says, in what type of finance industry?
I was doing exchange connectivity for Goldman Sachs. That's what we were doing. Exchange connectivity and risk controls. No. I don't know about this one.
Bot says he was in charge of installing the training wheels on the newbies' accounts.
No. It was really more prevent the robots from running amok is what it really was. You would think that like big trade screw up, not very common, large firm. No. I mean, not maybe for us, I don't know. But while I was there was one big one that was on the news, right? And I actually know the guy that got canned from that one. Remember when that was happening because it really affected the markets, and they were talking all about it on CNBC. But times where when a hedge fund's robot will go run amok and start sending too many orders every day. Mm-mm. Okay, so now the treasuries are giving me more what I want. I'm kind of playing this by the seat of my pants. I'm so far my spots haven't been the best, so it's summer. What can I say? I'm trying hard though. No, iceberging at 29.5 again. Don't know about that one. But I was just like, my chances of getting filled at 30 aren't very good. So this was still down to there, but we'll see. Equities would have to really turn risk on for that to happen. Okay.
Kevin Wimmer says just trade your best setups to be honest and be patient. Sitting here
Yeah.
since 7 hours and still no trade for me.
I think there was maybe, well, how many did we take? There was probably a couple of these. That one at 3006 that fell back on us and went to the low. That one was really disappointing. Also, the one that I did have 2 ticks in my favor, but then it came back on me in the treasury. That one was really disappointing. Because I kind of knew what was happening, but I thought, well, they come back and then they can move back. It didn't happen. I think that one was just kind of luck of the draw, but the one in the E-mini that ended up being a loss, that was a mistake. I tell you what, even though we're down here at the lows, the deltas continue to be long in the E-mini. There is just this flow of long orders that's just not letting up.
Bot says ES breaking through initial pivot low at 3006.25 again.
Kevin Wimmer says just move it to break
Notice.
even if you expect a reversal.
Yeah, well, so like on this one, we probably should be really trying to keep a tight risk here, right? On this one. These, I want to give myself a lot of room.
Bot says RTH low at 3000.75.
Okay, I'm getting a little bit of clicking here. Offers pulling out of the way in the 10-year and bids pulling out of the way in the E-mini. Gold bottoming a little bit. Same with when the treasuries are coming back here, though. So I don't know if that really matters. Yep, it comes back up. It's gonna jump out there. They really pulled there at 29.5, but they didn't buy it.
CH Trading says alright traders, no trades for me. I have to work. I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, good job if you didn't take any trades. It's summer trading. There's not going to be as much opportunities for sure. Oh, we still got Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index down at the bottom of the hour. The buy flow in the E-mini, I continue to see. Well, that one took them. Yeah.
Caio Bertoli says the premium is always at the hardest events.
The thing is, so going back to that trade that was bad. So like 3006. I think I kind of should have said, well, they're taking too long for them to do this if they're actually going to do what I think they are. But as soon as it hit down and I knew I had to get out, I was so mad because I knew that I was just going to end up buying it again. Like the way that if you see a stop run and on the stop run, you're seeing 500s and so forth being absorbed as it happens, you have got to be suspicious about that. That is somebody fading the stop run. They might have even made it happen. They might have squeezed them just so that they could get filled long below. That happens all the time. Well, the 10-year doesn't seem to want to stay down, even though they ticked down there pretty good. See if they fish for me again. Mm-hmm. Yep, they're doing it. See them doing it at 29.5. Hold all the way to 400, and now all of a sudden there's 14 on it again. And it ticks down. Fairly balanced at 29 though. Which is okay. We could look at the 2618. Yeah. Okay. So I got 2 out of that one? Yes. 2. Well, now that the news is over, they're being awfully wishy-washy, aren't they? And just looking here in the treasury, you really got to be like super efficient. Like, you could maybe try and get 30, right? And the chances of getting filled there are pretty low. So now you could try 29.5, but they're absorbing. And if you do get filled at 30, are they going to go through you? Uh, Overall, I just don't like this setup in the 10-year. Any way that I look at it, it seems like a bad thing. Okay, so they took 30. Oh, but they snack. Maybe it would have been a good spot to get short. Mm-hmm. They're trying another long here. Are they gonna make it this time? They're trading back and forth across this 08. My back has got a real. Hasn't been very good the past few days. Okay, so here comes the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Many buying there ahead of it. Come on. Negative 49.2 versus negative 62 expected.
Kyle Bertoli says if 3006 holds on pullback, you're good to go on that reversion at S.
Yeah, I'm liking it. You know, the original trade was at 13. If this really ends up playing out, maybe we could get the open. I don't know how I feel about the open. There's also 15. Let's just throw that one out there. It's still kind of slow going, though. Oh, now the treasury falls down. I really should have taken that 30, huh? I think trying to manage, one of the things I decided is trying to manage them both at the same time is no good. It's too difficult to watch.
Hans Gunther says, how do you learn to trade?
Trial and error. No.
Kevin Wimmer says, yeah, your 30 seemed like a good spot.
It really was. You know, but the thing is there's always a big risk involved with a good spot, you know? The E-mini could have moved lower and they could have blown right through. The thing that was interesting about that one and that I think we should watch for in the future was that they were fishing for me at 29.5, right? And then they did it at 30 and they got it at 32. But as soon as they got filled at 30, then they stacked it back on. So possibly, let's just say that you didn't get the fill at 30, or you didn't have it out, and if you really thought that we were going to come down, then you could have done it there. But I think that what might be happening was the message that I heard over the squawk earlier was that there was some corporate bond offering activity out in the market. And when that happens, that's supply coming into the market. That means, and those guys, to hedge themselves against interest rate changes, will come in and sell the treasuries. So that's going to give you some selling activity. That's why we wanted to sell it. So I think, we learned a few things. I guess it's some things that we knew, but it's so hard to keep everything in mind, and you got to be sharp, I guess. Especially when it's kind of this summertime, like it's doing right now. And the E-mini just continues to sputter along here long. Oh, they're going to come all the way back to 26, aren't they? Another thing I've noticed, something that happens in the 10-year, is, okay, so they were at 30, right? They came down 2 ticks. So then you're like, oh, well, you should sell it. Maybe it can go more. So you take 28.5, and look, you get, it'll go offer on you. Good. Are they hitting 28, 27? No. You try and take a continuation like that in the 10-year, they always screw you over. It's really, really hard to take a continuation trade in the 10-year like that, like 2 ticks down and try and continue it. It has to be like real news actively pushing.
Kevin Wimmer says 1 hour and it may be my time to shine. Oil
Oil
settlement for the
settlement.
European.
Okay, so the E-mini's taking another little. They're pushing it down here, but when I look at it, yeah, they're kind of. It's the volume's not following through on this in the E-mini. It's happening because of stacking and pulling. You can kind of hear the clicks. Yeah. I don't want to say it like that move up there. I don't want that to look like, oh, I predicted that. I think that those kinds of moves are a little too fast to kind of predict, but it just is like, yeah, you got to be on your toes. That move down wasn't necessarily a. That was really just them forcing it back down to the bottom of the range using the liquidity. So now we've got this spot right here around 3009 where there appears to be some balance interest, right? Which is actually a good thing because it's higher. Okay. My AC still hasn't turned on. It's so hot in here. Don't know what to do. It says it's 69 degrees. It's not 69 degrees in here. It's got to be like 73. I want to feel that cool air come into the room. That's such a good feeling. Right now, I just feel
Caio Bertoli says that
stressed.
move you just described and failed to continuation ZN is what I called short covering of lower time frame earlier.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, could be. There's lots of different things that can be going on. It's just, that, especially in the summer, 2 ticks all at once. Plus, I don't think that much volume went through there, right? Not really that much.
JB
It
says
was
lol,
okay.
my AC went out and my AC guy can't come until Friday. Mid-high 80s all week here. Kevin Wimmer says it was me. Sorry, clicked the wrong button.
I mean, that might have been a setup. Like, that might have been somebody looking to buy it up. So, like, here was the thing that I find that I want to see that's interesting about the M&A activity. And really, when we got it, we've been up here, right? Is what you'll tend to see is that's supply coming into the market, they're going to sell. But then as soon as they're gone, it can move back up. But now we're on an auction day. Auction days, we tend to move up. But the E-mini has been pretty risk-on-ish as well, right? Trying to judge the combination of forces in the 10-year is really difficult. But what I do know is that if you get something, they're not going to give up very much. Expecting an 8-tick run right now, well, even that 6-tick run was asking for a lot, right? By the way, how did the oil close go? Okay, so it does look like Bookmap is coming to Thinkorswim, and there's going to be some sort of a fee involved with it. See, this is a pretty wide consolidation area right now. Yeah, they're just kind of chopping along there. Actually, it looks like maybe some profit taking here in the E-mini. I don't know what the next turn is going to be. Okay, so they slipped down there a little bit. I'm getting all sorts of clickiness here in the E-mini. They're messing around with it. That looks like some big, relatively large asks moving around. Okay, so it is coming back pretty good. There they're at that 30 again. Trying to pivot it. Oh, they got plenty of time to. It's gotten really quiet. I was expecting more news today than we got. Maybe there will be more stuff in the afternoon. I mean, there was a good bout of economic news, I guess, but earlier it was hard to talk to you guys because the guy in my ear wouldn't shut up.
Kyle Bertoli says sorry dude lol.
It's a Monday. I mean, it's not a Monday, it's a Tuesday, but really it's a Monday if you think about it, right? It's a Monday with some economic news, yay. But none of the news really ended up mattering that much, did it? Okay, so we did get the pivot. So I like that. Okay. So back to the balance area that we had. I'm getting restless. My leg is bouncing.
Kevin Wimmer says I liked yesterday better to be honest. Evan thought I only had 2
Really?
trades, it was easier to read.
I really hate the holiday trading, man. Every time I've tried playing it. Well, I mean, it's interesting, I guess. I guess it's interesting, but I just don't think there's a whole lot of opportunity in it. Look at that. Treasuries go higher again. Hmm.
Caio Bertoli says there's your hold at 3006. Now let's see if buyers get initiative again.
Okay. Well, they're coming back into that interest area, and it's not holding
RJ
it.
Wheel says lot of one-way no resistance moves on holidays if you have the stomach for it.
Yeah. That's why I say that, like, you just got to ignore the price action on the holiday, right? Like the next day, let them battle it out and then make your decisions. I saw way too many people looking at yesterday's holiday trading and being like, "Yay, buy all the things, new highs," and I'm like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it did. Could go up, it could go down. Doesn't mean anything because it was on low volume on a holiday when the big traders aren't trading. The most knowledgeable market participants aren't there.
Kevin Wimmer says well I also thought that it would be a super slow day Seth and went for a small scalp. Wanna laugh Seth, then I can show you my exit.
Was it at 29.5? Did you trade against me at 29.5? I really should have both of those trades in the 10-year. If I had just put it for 2 ticks, I would have been okay. And probably given the type of trades that they were, that's probably what I should have been going for. But everything kind of
Caio
made it look
Bertoli
like it was
says I
going to go
treat
the other
holidays
side.
just like overnight balances.
Sure. Well, I do find that first little bit of like the extended session trading is important. Yeah. A lot of stats show that open price from the extended session tends to be influential. He's showing me a picture, but I can't see where he got in at.
Kevin Wimmer says posted it on Discord. Kevin Wimmer says entries are marked by small arrows.
Oh, there's a little arrow. Oh, yep, you got long. Oh, no, wait, that's the E-mini. Oh, you got long like way, way, way back. Oh, wow. But then you missed like most of the big move. I see why you're saying that now. Because you had the perfect long and you could have held it in the E-mini. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that actually is really bad. You know what, though? I think he did the right thing. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Actually, let me take that back. Because that early in the morning, a scalp is kind of like, I don't know, like your ability to pick a spot and have it hold, I think is a little bit random. I think that early, you've got to be like anticipating that flow will come in
Kevin
later.
Wimmer says yeah and I got 8 ticks lol.
You got 8 ticks. I think
Kevin Wimmer says an exit as well.
when I take a trade that early, I'm anticipating that sentiment is stacked a certain way and that larger flows are going to come in and take me. So I try and hold it longer. But that said, 8 ticks isn't bad. But then again, today I didn't really see anything that really gave me a real confidence on which way we're going to go. I should have added a contract at 31.10, by the way. I wasn't really on the ball with that. Let's see this line at 14. So that's good. So it's interesting the way that they behave, but this is just sort of this sort of thing that happens with those balance areas. Just kind of to give you an idea of why I'm so interested in them right now. And well, I've always kind of been interested in them, but I haven't been using them in the E-mini as much. So we got this. Oh gosh, that's way too big. And we need this. Okay. So you got this area right here, right? You see it? So here's the area. They go down, they come back up, and they pretend to reject it. And then they flush through it. But do you see how when they return back to it again, they're not as interested in trading it? So think about auction theory, right? Area of balance, range extension down.
Kevin Wimmer says I didn't expect
range
them to break the
extension up.
weekly on a holiday. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah. So this may continue up. I don't know. Given that our last really good balance area was up at around 15. Well, there's the open. There's 16. So maybe we need to go for the open. Anyways. So yeah. But they'll do this sort of a thing. That's why it's like usually with a balance area, you can want to come in and you say, okay, so we're in here. I want to take a trade in here. And I think that they're going to turn down. Sometimes you can guess, but I have found that it's really difficult to tell which way they're going to ultimately resolve, and that they will tend to move outside of it a little bit and then come back into it, right? That's why the thing that I think is better is to just say, okay, this is a spot that I know is likely to be revisited. So then if I see something like a change in news or sentiment that tells me that the trend is certain and I have one of those areas and the risk reward is good, then I'd take that. That's what I'm trying to do right now. So it's just like here in the treasury. I know that there's a spot here. I know that there's a spot here and here. Although with this area, this whole area is kind of a little unclear. So short here, take it off here, but it's only been giving me 2. So maybe I should only be taking 2, right? But only when I know that they're not going to just careen up to 139. Now, where is this pivot coming from? Oh, that's the hourly open, 31.10. Or sorry, 30.10. Still feel hot. I need a fan in here, get some air moving around. Hong Kong leader on proposed national security law. No need for us to worry. That he said that like 2 hours ago, dude. Whatever. Oh, stop getting new messages. What are you guys saying here? Usually when price accepts back in balance, there's liquidation all the way back to the upper bound of it. Yes. VIX is ticking lower and AD is ticking higher. Possible sentiment change. Well, yeah. So my up volume versus down volume, it's all long. It's all long. And VIX, of course, would have to be lower after this huge move up. But part of that was that yesterday the VIX didn't really move. So it's really interesting that all it takes is just a few little ticks lower and then the treasury will move. That time they moved down, though. Okay, well, there is appearing to be some sort of balance found around 3010, which is higher than it was before. Well, it's at the upper end of just above where the previous balance area was. Sure has been a lot of sideways action on these pullbacks, by the way. Like it'll move up really fast and then long, slow nothingness. I mean, like this strong move up, nothing. Treasuries are finally falling down a little bit, though. So maybe we will see 26. China to work with the G20 to ease Africa debt burden. Financial Times says latest COVID-19 manufacturing monitoring shows that 90% of UK manufacturers have continued to operate partially or fully during the pandemic. Keep calm and carry on as best you can has been the response of a broad swath of companies. Another little bit of messing around on the ask. It's been doing that a lot. Look at the when you look at the book here. It's almost all asks. Donald J. Trump, we made most governors look very good, even great, by getting them the ventilators, unlimited testing, and supplies, all of which they should have had in their own stockpiles. So they look great, and I just keep rolling along, doing great things, and getting fake, lame stream news. This guy. Huge coronavirus breakthrough as World Health Organization claims second wave being increasingly ruled out. A deadly second wave of coronavirus is being increasingly ruled out because lockdown measures are suppressing the pathogen's reproduction rate. Okay. So I don't think that Trading Floor Audio's assessment there is probably real is probably the full story about why they're ruling it. Why would somebody call me from California? No, I'm not going to talk to somebody from California. Um, but they're saying um, that because the lockdown measures are suppressing the pathogen's reproduction rate, doesn't that just mean that when a second wave comes, that they're going to have to shut things down again? That doesn't make me very confident that a second wave's not going to happen. If anything, it says to me that a second wave is still a really high risk because there's not a lot of immunity. Yeah. So that story seems a little suspicious to me. Need to dig deeper into that one. I guess I should come in and do some of my notes here just based off of the news that we've seen so far. Mm-hmm. Recap, new note. Do a new note every day. Ding, ding, ding. Move this over here. Okay. So, strong buy flows ahead of the open. Then sell on open. Consumer sentiment numbers softer than expected at, what was it? Oh, I can't see anymore. I'm pretty sure it was 86 versus expected 88. Not significant though. Market didn't really react to it. Even with that strong downturn, it's like it's hard to get more than 2 ticks. E-mini went a little bit higher there, and now they're testing the other side. So are we getting some range extension here? McConnell says in Kentucky there will likely be another recovery bill in the next month or so. There's likely to be another bill. It will not be the $3 trillion bill that the House passed the other day, but there's still a likelihood that more will be needed. Ugh. Poll coming out in Great Britain showing conservatives with 46% of the vote versus Labour at 33%. Well, I should know, by the way, that 30, 10, 50 is about where the hours started. We've been there back and forth this past 30 minutes. So they're still kind of fighting over whether this is going to be an up hour or a down hour. Come on, guys. There's going to be more stimulus. Doesn't that make you want to buy things? Oh, that's funny. I heard it on Twitter before I heard it on my squawk. All right, well, should probably do some management here. That's some pretty okay takes right there, but the volume is much less one way than it was earlier. Okay. Yeah, it's just too much volume there. Well, now that I'm out, maybe they'll continue on up, but I'm just kind of thinking like I've been in it long enough. Is this guy? We bought one at 179.10. In the 30 year. Right. That's weird. The platform this guy is using doesn't show it very well. Oh, of course he's using MT4. That would explain it. That would explain it. Get off MT4. Hey, you know what? I liked that exit. I liked that exit. I got the top of that. Okay, well, that was I guess we could buy there again if we really thought we were going to get up. I don't know though. It seems like well, let's see. Well, I think we did okay for today. So I think that puts us positive in the 10 in the E-mini. Hold on. How come it's not showing me my filters so I can filter it by products? There we go. Yes, it does. It does come out positive, but only slightly because of that big mistake at 3006. That was such a bad mistake. I think I should switch this back over to just my 8 ticker. I think that's what we got, right? Yeah, that should be fine. And then I can adjust it as needed. Okay, well, I'm going to take a quick break and I will be right back. Yeah, it is significantly hotter in this room than over there. So, what is going to be your trade management? What is your target? When will you exit and move your stop, aka willing to take a loser if it turns? Well, I've been trying to keep that. I mean, when I want to take it to a spot and I want to get good risk reward is the way that I'm looking at it. But I've been kind of trying to be sly about where my stop is. Chinese says its armed forces strengthened amid the tension with U.S.-Chinese president says the country has strengthened its armed forces in combat readiness. U.S. accuses Russia of deploying fighter jets to Libya to boost mercenaries. So now I'm starting to see the headlines that I was expecting to see today. Charlotte Democrat says there's no way for GOP convention to take place as planned amid coronavirus pandemic. Yeah, they might move it. They should move it to Utah. We wouldn't impose any restrictions, probably. They should hold it somewhere hot, like New Mexico, right? Kudlow says market rallying on signs that the U.S. hit the bottom. Q3 could be fastest growing in U.S. history. Maybe, but are we already overvalued? That's my question. I just can't justify any value. Like, really, we just don't know enough to say whether the stock market price here is acceptable or not. What I can say is that a lot of companies based on forward PEs look expensive. Trump says virus death count could have been 20 times higher. Yeah. Oh, he's on Fox. How many states are still locked down? I mean, it's been almost a month. I remember here in Utah, they was taking it off and them being all freaking out about it, and nothing's happened. Oops, need to move this over here. Let's ask Jeff Gunlock. I bet you he would know. Well, he says, which question? Probably what's a fair valuation? Yeah. I haven't. Let's see what he's been saying over the weekend. He doesn't tweet that often, but he tweets maybe once a day. I'm finding out that if you really want to be widely followed on Twitter, you gotta talk a lot. Oh, he hasn't said anything since the 16th. I have to laugh when financial media talking heads. Hold on. I have to laugh when financial media talking heads assert that China has leverage over the U.S. because China owns about 1 trillion U.S. treasuries and might sell in retaliation. Heck, the U.S. treasuries sold about that amount in April alone. Merrick Chief casts doubt on coronavirus vaccine timeline. See, it's like all so we're like 10 minutes before the London close, and you're seeing a lot of headlines and stuff. Yeah. So I'm hearing news and I'm seeing it on Twitter and everything. They're talking about a vaccine and they're saying that, it's probably going to be a year. With Kudlow supporting the payroll tax holiday. And what's this? I can see Brannigan Barrett tweeting a headline that he's seeing says Kudlow says Trump administration is looking carefully at potential back to work bonus. Back to work bonus, huh? Well, you got to do something to get everybody to come off of unemployment, huh? Like this is an issue. My wife, she is on maternity leave and she gets unemployment from maternity leave. So like, why would she? She's not gonna go back to work because she's getting the money from the government. House Democrats make initial ad buys in battleground states. Tweets the Hill. Okay, they're coming down to the bottom of this. Interesting. Now he's talking about Hong Kong. Maybe they're falling because of Kudlow. So what he was saying was really bullish now. And yeah, Kudlow says what China is doing in Hong Kong is, quote, very disturbing. Tweets FX Macro. That definitely looks like news buying to me. So like selling to me. So we could potentially take 3006 and then try and take it back to 11. I'm glad I recognized the distribution there at the top of this and got out of my long a long time ago. Lots of little headlines. We should write this down. Yeah, that's not a... What China's doing is very concerning. They're going to go to the lows. They're going for the lows. Ooh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh well, they didn't hit it. Right there. Come on, do it. Do it. There's a lot of volume going through here. Yeah. Just go down there. It'll be so much fun. Just hit it. Fine. Well, it's a lot of contracts going through here. It doesn't look like my spot ended up being very good, though. That low held. I don't think it's gonna, though. That was maybe a little bit better of a pick. Even if this fails, at least I got 3, right? So this looks like short covering. The actual overall cumulative delta is not positive. It's actually flat. It looks like I knew something was going on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was it. Just found out he said Trump is so miffed with China on virus and other matters, the trade deal is not as important to him as it once was. Okay. Hey, Wrong, how are you? How have you been? Well, even though the E-mini has come down, the treasuries don't seem too panicked. So I don't think that that means that this move down is like nonsense, but I think that perhaps what it means is that equities got ahead of themselves. Chewy is still short. He is still short. Oh my gosh. I don't know about that one. Chewy, that's a little concerning. But okay. Okay. So they're kind of trying to show me a higher low, but uh, I think that it's all just noise. I don't actually know what's going to happen. I want to see them break the low just because it would be so much fun. But I don't actually know what's going to happen. I'm so pissed that Kanabe not showing me Kalos to speak. When will he be done? Ah, China making a big mistake in regards to their moves with Hong Kong. Hey, you want to sell off of that headline? Come on. Huh? Huh? Maybe, maybe not. How much has gone through here now? 4,000? Not that much. I think we're okay. Wow, there was 23,000 at 3110? Wait, am I reading that right? Oh, and we will help U.S. companies move back. I wonder if that move down to the lows was those longs from the European session unwinding, because it was going into the London close. Mm, it's just kind of slow and choppy now, but they're kind of holding okay. Oh, now they're getting excited about it. Nope, not that time. Come on. Facebook has renamed its blockchain division called Calibra to avoid confusion with Libra, the digital currency that Facebook created. Okay. Okay. It's so awfully close. So very close. Come on. It would be so much fun. I don't know if it's going to do it. I just think it would be so much fun if we hit the low of the day, you know? Hmm. Well, it's still kind of holding that spot. Yeah, now the squawks are talking about Kudlow talking about auditing of companies. The chain doesn't allow. Starting to get into a decent amount traded there. Oh man. Well, you know what? It is 9:40, so I gotta go. Uh, yeah, I gotta get going soon. If you're gonna do it now. Do it now, please. When I have it recorded. Do it. It's just barely. It's just one guy just needs to come in and sweep it. Just do it. Fine. You know what? He's not gonna do it while I'm streaming. He's intent on not doing it while I'm streaming. So you know what, guys? I'm gonna stop the stream and then he's gonna do it. Probably. But hey, you know what? That's the summer. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. But in the meantime, stay profitable.